All right. Hey, everyone. I'm here with Leonard Cradit. Hey, Leonard.
Hey there, Jen.
And Leonard is the franchise development manager for Exit Realty in Michigan. And he also has a real estate team that serves the Grand Rapids area in Michigan. Welcome to being our tiebreaker, Leonard.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I appreciate you being on. We've been talking about self showings, and it seems like you have a little bit of an experience with that. Can you share with us kind of what your experience has been?
Sure. Well, I've been in real estate for over 30 years, and I've
Wow.
also done property management as well. And at one point, we had tried self showings, for example, with property management, people leasing apartments and
Uh-huh.
different things like that. What we found was we had far greater success by actually having our leasing agents go along with the prospect and be able to learn more about their needs and desires and their likes and dislikes and what sorts of things that maybe that particular apartment in this example
Hmm.
might not have satisfied their needs. And so rather than lose them, we were able to learn enough and build enough of a relationship that we could potentially steer them towards maybe a better location for an apartment or a better style design
Sure.
floor plan, or something like that. We found the same thing in real estate versus, with the shutdown and the lockdowns in real estate during the COVID, and some realtors were trying lots of different things to, show properties and things like
Right.
that. It's still better, in my opinion and in my experience, to be that person that's there and that advisor beside the client the whole time.
Hmm.
This is a relationship style business, and we found that we were both in the rental industry as well as the home sales industry, far greater ability to close the deal and satisfy the client and ultimately make a sale in both industries by sticking with the clients rather than just let them self show.
Yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a good point. I am wondering, could that also be done over the phone at all, or do you think it has to be in person?
I think it needs to be in person. I mean, could it be done over the phone? I suppose, but I think by and large, most people that are shopping for whether it's an apartment or a home to purchase or live
Hmm.
in, it's such an important decision to them that they appreciate the service
Yeah.
aspect of that and the relationship. So the face to face, there's just no substitute for it, in my opinion, professionally.
Do you think, I'm wondering, because do you think that they're kind of going to be the future though, like these self showings? Because I've noticed like Zillow just came into our market and they're doing self showings now. I can see the liability of it, but I can also see
Hmm.
the benefit for the buyers. But then also to your point, right? It's like if you really want a house, this is a consultative business and you need a consultant, you know?
Absolutely, that's right. And Zillow, I'll give them credit. They try a lot of things out of the box, and
Yeah.
the reality is that many realtors get nervous or concerned because they think, oh my gosh, big bad Zillow's coming to do something different, and it could hurt my business. The truth is, there's really no substitute, and history has verified this,
Hmm.
for personal interaction. There just
Yeah.
isn't. You might have the one-offs that say, okay, I'm totally comfortable doing things on my own. But generally speaking, the clients appreciate the relationship
Hmm.
that they have, the information, the questions they might get,
Yeah.
and ultimately the sales and success ratios reflect that.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I'm just thinking of like, the one thing that they don't appreciate, or we don't even appreciate, it's like if we are working with several buyers, you have a timing issue, right? So it's like you don't want to be showing at like 8 o'clock at night if you've been working all day and then or they can't go at like 10 a.m. So that's where like the benefit of the self showing could be. But to your point, it's like, but what are you giving up, I guess?
Well, that, and people question now, and some of it I believe is partially driven by the steps that bigger companies like Zillow are taking that makes the consumer question the validity of a real estate agent and what their role is versus their commission and how do we earn it. And I think that the further we step away from hands-on service throughout the sale from start to finish, I think the more detriment it does to the industry, and it allows people to make excuses for not paying the normal commissions. We're seeing that happening in the industry right now. People are going, well, why? What am I paying for with a realtor, right? The point is yeah, you need me at 8 o'clock at night. That's part of our job. And
watch your mouth, Leonard.
Estate,
no, I'm
it's
just kidding.
part of our job. It just is. I love you, Jen, but it's part of our job. And, you know, it's the times that you have those days where you're busy, like you said, you're busy and you might not be able to get them at 10 o'clock in the morning and they've got to go at 8 o'clock at night or on a weekend. But we also don't think about all the times as realtors that we have a lot of free time on our hands besides that. And so it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. And you try to balance work life the best you can. But I think that to stay successful and to build long-term relationships, and I will say that every real estate coach that's worth their salt in the world will tell you there is no substitute for continuous contact with your client and your database.
Yeah.
So why stop right in the heat of the selling process? That's why I'm not a fan of solo showings.
Yeah, no.
Showings, yeah.
Yeah, you bring up a lot of really great points. Well, I appreciate your insight. It's always nice to have somebody on that's been in the business for a really long time because you have some experience with this opinion, you know? So
thank you so much. And I appreciate you bringing this to the forefront because it's an important topic. And as I said, we see a lot of changes coming. All of the people in real estate do.
Yeah.
And some of them get concerned and afraid because they think things are going to drastically change. I can tell you from experience, I do not believe these are simple disruptors and they're a temporary blip in the system. And even the companies that are trying some of these things are actually finding that consumers prefer to work with agents and go hand in hand and have them be a part of the whole process.
Right.
That's where you build trust and credibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, if anybody has any referrals, or if anybody is interested, I guess, in opening up an Exit Realty franchise in Michigan,
you bet. You bet.
They can give you a buzz. What's the best way to reach you, Leonard?
Best way to reach me is just call 616-213-2051. That's my cell phone number. We have 35 offices in Michigan currently, and I'm opening more constantly. So we're looking for agents that want to grow and want to be a part of a company that is focused on human potential. That's the difference in Exit Realty.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Jen, and you too. Appreciate it. And I'm thankful that you had me on today.